So we have a bunch of great comedians here for you tonight. About 6 of us who are open mic veterans doing a bit of a longer set than you would see in those on open mic. So quick warning, this panel may be a little more towards the 18 side just because of, you know, language. Yay. So...
Like in the storyline?
Mother Fluffer is...
Mother Fluffer, fluff off.
He actually...
So, my name is Poker Wolf, and I'm going to just start off by telling you a little story about a wolf and a fox. Now, this wolf and this fox, they were dating at the time, and the wolf was coming to pick up his fox friend from his other friend's place because he had to go away for Thanksgiving dinner with his parents. Now, this little wolf here, he hasn't seen his fox friend in about a month because his parents are crazy. Religious crazy.
Like me.
Hallelujah.
I'm talking Bible soup and Jesus staring down at you from the ceiling.
I'm a priest.
So, needless to say, he's a little pent up. He's a little excited to see his fox friend again. So he goes off and goes to his friend's house to pick him up. Wearing some pretty thick jeans, no casual clothes, and he goes to surprise him. Now he goes up the stairs to his friend's place, and you know, it's a bit of a balcony, you know, not a lot of space, maybe about this square here. And he knocks on the door. And there is his fox mate at the time. And he just looks at him, looks in surprise, and goes to glomp him or tackle hug him around the waist. Now the bad thing about Mr. Wolf is, he was a bad flincher. So when Mr. Fox leapt face first towards his chest, Mr. Wolf flinched. And his face kind of slid up his jeans and got stuck in the nose. So then he looks up, and Mr. Wolf sees all of his other friends, looks down at his fox, and yep, he's stuck. What else is a wolf going to do? He just grabs the head, pushes in, and then throws him off. And that's the story of the tightest hole on a fox.
Damn.
So, my next story, I'm going to need some help, actually. Propzilla, would you come on stage for a moment?
What if I say no?
I'm going to make you come up here anyways.
You get promoted.
I was told, take this, don't go alone.
So, Propzilla, you're the director of operations for this convention, correct?
Sadly.
And you work at a railroad, correct?
Sadly.
So...
It's like never leaving a convention except there's not awesome people there. That's the good reaction.
So what would be something horrible for someone like you to do, who is running furry conventions and a railroad?
Where it's a bunch of grumpy old men who believe in the old ways.
Yes.
Bring the furries onto the train.
Yes, so how did we do that? With, let's say about 10 of our staff members.
10 of our more vocal staff members.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, what would we do to combine those worlds and ruin my life? Yes, we would take them on the very expensive, very classy Cincinnati Dairy Train.
The Dairy Train, you mean the Dairy Train that has, you know, all the rich people in Cincinnati, right?
Yes, the Dairy Train that all the rich people and business owners of Cincinnati ride because it's expensive. Yes, we would take them on that.
Okay.
Am I an idiot?
Yes.
Yes?
So we did.
Good.
So we arrive there, we go to check in, and they're like, oh, for realty. Nice for you to join us.
Yes. We're here for a business meeting. We're discussing...
Fuzzy houses! We're discussing fuzzy houses.
And selling a convention center to a bunch of traders.
Traders, yes, traders. Traders, yes. So we go on the train. We have a pretty wonderful night, I'd say.
Yeah, minus one of our other staff members telling my boss and the owner of the thing, yeah, we're a bunch of furries. Yeah, things get kind of crazy. They start doing kind of crazy things. Like what? No! Oh, you heard that. Okay, we're good. We raise money for the animal shelter. Oh, I donate there too. How much? About $1,000 a year. We did $10,000. I'll beat you next year.
But you said I'll beat you next year?
Yes, he did.
So,
Oh.
so everything went pretty good until we were allowed to get up and start walking around the train, basically.
Yes.
So if I recall, there was this little Italian man who out of nowhere came up to me in the back of the train, started patting my belly,
Oh my.
and said, my, aren't you a big one? Thank you, son, for holding down this side of the train.
Yes, you can say this little Italian man was a good buddy.
A buddy, you say?
A buddy, yes. So what did you come back to our section and yell as loud as you could?
I actually don't remember.
Well, let me guide you through it. Hey everybody! That little Italian guy just rubbed my belly and went, aren't you a big guy? Aren't you glad you're holding down this side of the train? To the point to where he's looking down the hallway going,
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that guy was our buddy.
Yeah. A very particular buddy, you'd say.
Yes, a very particular buddy. His face is all over Cincinnati.
The buddy of Buddy La Rosa's, the founder of the entire pizzeria franchise.
What?
So what do I do? Yeah, the guy that's holding down this side of the train, sir? Yeah, he runs a furry convention! Can you give us some money for a pizza? Please? Oh, that's different. What do you guys do? We raise money for animals and charities around here. Oh, we donate to all kinds of stuff like that. I actually have a few funds. Yeah, can you help us? Please?
Sure, not a problem. Let me just go to Google real fast and just type in furry.
Don't.
Hi, what's this? Is
Stop. No.
What's a rainforest?
No.
I'm sorry, we can no longer give you any donations.
No, that's not how it went.
You're right.
That's what you're imagining, though.
No, for real, what actually happened was I went home, I got home, and I was feeling a little hungry still, so I ordered some Papa John's and then during the national anthem.
Yeah.
So that bombed. So up next is the guy already on stage. Bye. Yay!
What train station?
I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. The way that ended, and he won't admit it, is the way that ended is Mr. LaRosa said, I'll see what I can do. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. He did something, and I'm talking with their marketing department. There's not a whole lot we can do until we see that you're established. Well, we've been around for 5 years. You've been running for 5 years? That's wonderful. It takes 6 months to get through the process. The con's in 2 months. Help us. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Buddy! Can you do something for us? Nope, I don't do anything for the business. Your face is on the box! Help us! Sadly, it takes time. Next year, we'll see what we can do.
Ooh.
Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. Stop. I will do what I can do, but don't get your hopes up. If I have a coupon, be happy, darn it. Wait, are we legal? Can I say it? Can I say it, please? Can I say it? Shut up. Can I say it?
Yes.
Shut up. Anyway. I forget what I was going to say.
God damn it.
All right, so I got a couple stories.
Are
Are you timing me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yay! Sorry, this is a thing we have to do so that I don't sit here and ramble for an hour and then have 3, 4, 5, 6 pissed off comedians. Anyway, so I'm going to start the first story off as another work story. I'm sorry. There we go. As another work story. Minus bringing the furries on the train, the other worst thing I've ever done is a world's worst. World's worst thing to say to a hobo. Get your fat ass off my train. Make me. How about I lock your ass in the train? Click! Called the cops. Cops show up. What'd you do? I locked a hobo in my train. Who am I arresting again? Him. He's trespassing. And you left him in there? I'm okay if he burns the car to the ground. I just don't want him to do it anywhere else. No, wait. You want him to do arson in there?
No.
Yes, please. Why? Well, that thing's trash. We hate it. We don't want to work with it again. I don't want to have to do any work to it. So can he just burn that down? No? Mind you, this is not the first encounter with that officer we've had. 2 weeks before, we're spray painting a locomotive. And a locomotive is a big thing. It's bigger than this wall. It's 150 tons. Huge. It's like painting a barn. But there's a lot of little spots. So we got all the spray paint at Home Depot. And of course, we go to check out the Home Depot. And the Home Depot person goes, what's all the spray paint for? And mind you, I'm 24. My boss is 24. And we're both college age, wearing hoodies that are burnt and crap from working on trains. So what do we look like?
Thanks.
Good guys. So what are you guys doing with all that paint? Painting trains? You mean like they do at rail yards with the bright colors and the pictures and the tagging? Yeah, kind of like that. Wait, no. No. We work on trains. It's fine. So we've been working on it for like 20 hours already. Mind you, there's only 24 hours of the day. Maybe 48, depending on what day you have. But we've been doing this for a while. So in the car, we have spray paint in the back of the car, right where you can see it with the windows open. I'm in the passenger seat. We pull up to a gas station, and I am out like a light. My boss gets out of the car. He's covered in spray paint, wearing the hoodie. And an officer sees him and walks by the car as he goes into the gas station and goes, ooh. What's all the paint for, son? Just painting trains, officer. Painting trains. Yeah, painting trains. Painting trains. Yep. Can you step over to my car? Can you bring back up? There's 2 of them. So he takes him over to his car. The other officer pulls up. Now my boss is trying to backpedal, and of course he sucks at it. So he's just, I don't mean illegally painting trains, like legally painting trains. And I'm just there, passed out. Son. Yeah. Yes, sir. What are you doing? Passing out? Blacking out. That's what it was. Son, get out of the car. What? Son. Why is there paint on my lip? Son, get out of the car. Son, get out of the car. Oh no. It's not what it looks like. What does it look like to you, son? We're huffing paint? Is that the right answer, officer? That's close. What do you think we're doing? Painting trains. That's actually correct. Get out of the car. So we're about 2 minutes away from going to jail at this point. I'm in cuffs. My boss is still going, no, 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 we work on trains. We paint trains for a living. It's just true. But he's going, we paint trains for a living. It's fine. Officers, get in the back of the car, start pulling the paint out, and there's our railroad uniforms. Do you know how funny it is when an officer has to backpedal? Sir, we need to not do this. Why? Shit. Hey, kids, you're good to go. Can you take the cuffs off? Yeah, you're good to go. Thank you. Where are you going? Not to paint trains. What did we do? We went to go paint trains, right? We went to go paint trains. Somebody calls the police because we're there till midnight. Guess who shows up? Hi, officer. You boys paying your train? Yes, we're paying our train. Can you go away now? Is this your property? Shut up, go away. Don't tell an officer to shut up, go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my first story. Please don't put that on the internet.
What did you do? What did you do?
Too late.
That's okay, they knew I was going to tell it.
Did they leave?
Except for the police department. I'm not mentioning names, but
Did they leave?
it rhymes with Hebenen. So on the way up here to the con, I have to go pick up my friends. Why? Because if they drive here, there'll be more accidents on 75 than there normally are. Citrine Husky, can you come on up here?
Oh.
It's supposed to be funny. It's the truth, too. Citrine, would you really like...
You see what you do?
So rude and insulting.
I'm not helping you.
I have 2 weapons and no vision. This sucks.
Oh, you can take them.
Shit.
Take one. It's like handing a blind guy a microphone. Look at me, I'm thinking. I can't do that. Hey, speaking of...
You hit a note. Good job.
Not the worst I've ever heard.
anything.
It actually was not.
Speaking of Citrine, on the way down here, what was the most exciting part of our car ride?
Sonic?
The drive-in, not the show.
So,
What was the other most exciting thing? It had to do with something like, ah! And I'm not talking about when I let you drive.
No, that part was you screaming. I was just fine.
No. It was something like, oh my God! There goes a tire!
Oh my God!
Citrine, what are you doing?
I was looking in the general direction you screamed and slammed on the brakes.
Why?
Because that seemed logical when we were slamming on the brakes.
What were you looking for? The tire?
I was looking for the light flashing before my eyes and I didn't see it.
Wait, so you were looking for something?
For the first time, yes.
Think about that for a second. Think long and hard. Search for the answer with everything but your eyes, or else we'll never get to the cod.
All I'm remembering that you just said is long and hard. My mind blanked after that.
You know your fiancé was in the car, right?
Long and hard.
What was that going to do? Find the tire in the car?
It would have directed me in the right visual direction.
Visual. Remember that. Visual direction, folks. Without further ado, Citrine Husky.
Do I have 2 mics or the...
Yeah, you've got 2 mics.
I'm not hurting you.
Hold this.
I'll help.
No, you won't. You'll stay down there, I might run into you. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm a songwriter, and this was a very short song, one of the first songs I wrote, and I dedicated it to my ex. God made you very special, but God made a mistake. So, this guitar reminds me of my penis. I run my hands all up and down it, and something beautiful happens, and it makes me happy.
This is 15 plus. 15.
What?
15 plus.
15 plus? Dude, I'm 25. Who's blind? So, I'm going to stand here and tell you a few stories and hopefully not fall off the stage. So, let's start off simple. We're going to talk about the other night when I got here because this is fresh in my mind and I wrote no notes. So, when I got here the other day, I was hanging out with some of my friends in the lobby and my good friend Dragor showed up and he says, "Hey, I brought the piano." And, you know, I'm thinking that he brought my piano because I left it at IFC because I forgot about it, and luckily I have good friends that'll bring it back to me, so we're going to use it for this convention. So, what he tells me, he goes, "Actually, it's my piano." And it was played, now, for those of you who don't know, I won't say his name mainly because I can't remember it, but his piano was played by one of the most legendary porn stars, which I've never seen before in my life because blind people don't watch porn, so ha! We don't get caught. Being blind's not so bad, is it? So, anyway, I didn't know that there were nice elderly ladies here. And I had had a drink or two, and I was very happy to hear that he had brought the piano. So the first thing that comes to my mind, I said, "Oh my God, I can't wait to play the porn piano!" And I hear, "Porn piano? What kind of con is this?" I didn't have the heart to approach any of them or tell them. I just walked away. So, for those of you who, okay, how many of you have ever seen me perform on stage before doing comedy?
Yes. I think so.
If you raise your hands, I'm going to come out and single you out. And
I
hit you.
think so.
Find me!
If you keep, the secret is to shut up. I won't find you that way. It's like the worst game. Yeah, you're gonna play what? Marco Polo with the blind person, or hide and seek, or some shit like that. Oh my God. This is why I had terrible friends in high school. They did this. Oh, it's okay. They were on their phones and they would run into all kinds of crap. I'm like, "Yep, there's a God. This is fun." You're slowly becoming just like me. The world will equal itself out. I'll run into stuff because I can't see. You'll run into stuff because of frickin' Twitter. So, my fiance, she is blind just like I am. And she definitely has a sense of humor just like I do. Because the first time that we go on a date, she looks at me, and this is interesting to know because the waitress was coming right up, and I knew this, but she didn't because she had her back to her. And she goes, "You know, I gotta say, I've heard the term blind date before, but this is freaking ridiculous." And I was like, "Yeah, she's the one. This is gonna work." The good thing about having somebody that you're engaged to or that you're married to that is blind is that they can never leave unless they get a ride, so you at least have some time to make it right. They can't just walk out. So, who wants to hear, I've told this before, but I'm drawing a blank, so this is fun. Who wants to hear about the first time that I got drunk at a con?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
All right.
No one raised their hand, by the way.
I almost did.
I will find you later.
I didn't. I also didn't say that.
Say what? Anyway, so, you stay there and keep talking once in a while, and I will find you. Just keep talking. And you'll be just fine. I have friends with vision. Making friends is good.
If you don't find me here, you find me on Turtle.
Anyway, out of sight, out of mind. So, basically, what happened is at an unnamed convention in Indiana, I was to... Hey, I can't read the logos. So, basically what happens is I decide that I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to have fun because I'm a furry and I'm over 21 and I want to. So, my logic was, if I get drunk, I can't walk a straight line any damn way. How are they going to know? Anyway, so at that point where you become blackout drunk, but it was normal drunk for me because that's every day and I can't see, I decided that I would start to walk around the hotel. I start to walk around the hotel because mazes are fun when you're drunk. I don't know why. It's the worst corn maze ever. But I start doing it, and so I'm walking around. I'm walking down the hall, and it's great, and I'm just having fun. And all of a sudden, there are things you shouldn't do. One of those is lay on your side and play your damn DS laying out in the hall. You don't do that even with sighted people. But with a blind person, I won't get in trouble for this. But I didn't see him there. And so I'm just tapping the wall. There's something that's a lot more soft than wall, and it curls up like a corpsed caterpillar around my freaking cane. And starts squealing like the apocalypse is upon it. Now, I will say this. My cane and the ground are not supposed to make noise. But this cute little guy right here, I understood why it's called a cane. It gained the acronym, the Cock and Nut Exterminator. Now, my night wasn't done. I didn't know what to do. I'm not a surgeon. I've done the damage. So, and I can't go to ConOps and report, hey, I hit somebody. Well, what's he look like? Screw you. I don't know. So, what do? I just go on my merry way because I'm drunk. I find my way back to my room this time, and I decide, hey, everybody talks about drunk fursuiting. I can do that. Yeah. I put my suit on, and I go downstairs. And another friend of mine buys me another drink. He buys me a Long Island iced tea. Yes. For those of you who don't know, that is, if you're drunk, more death. And, but it's good. And basically what happens, I see two people that are inebriated, but not inebriated enough to challenge me, in my opinion. So they're sipping on beer. And they're in the corner. Now I decide there's a corridor. And what am I going to do? I'm in suit. I'm a doggo. I can growl at them and make them angry. Because they are being loud and obnoxious, and I don't like that. So I, on all fours, charge them and growl. Suddenly beer overflowed onto the floor. And suddenly feet began to run faster than Sonic. Now, I could have left this alone, but here's a tip, and this is why I tell people this. If you don't want me to find you, shut the hell up. They did not know that lesson, however, so they were not educated in the blind. So they screamed. And basically what happens, they run to their room. They lock the door. I don't know where my room is anymore. I'm more drunk. So I collapse. Then I wake up with a terrible hangover to them opening the door, saying, "Oh my God, he's still here!" and slamming the door shut. Guys, my name is Citrine the Blind Husky. Thank you so much, and I won't see you next time.
Yeah, about 10 seconds. Do you remember who the guy you crotched was?
Not you, is it?
I remember you telling the story at IFC and somebody else going, "You bastard." Hi, everybody. Now that Citrine's told his wasted mess, hey, he survived. We have our other blind, but only because he's a living fursuit and has no eyes. Sarathan, thank you.
Just eat it.
All right, thank you. And in case you didn't know, Zachary and I are going to be in a TV show where he's a detective and I'm his service dog, and then we investigate stuff. It's going to be called CSI. So, yeah, So, I'm just getting a little bit past 30, which, you know, in furry is gray muzzle grandpa age. Because furries like to measure age in dog years, and, you know, by that standard, I really should probably be dead by now, but thankfully I'm still around. What also makes me feel incredibly old, though, is I just recently got into Twitch streaming, which the median age there is 14. So, like, well, I'm literally talking to people on Twitch streams like, hey man, like, I need some advice to do my Twitching. And it's like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for like 5 years. I'm like, whoa, you know, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 23. I'm like, oh. Oh god, I got this way too late. Oh no. But then I get other friends trying to support me, help me out. It's like, hey man, you know, Harrison Ford didn't start acting until he's 50. You know, Meryl Streep didn't start acting until she was 50. And all I'm thinking, like, you're making it worse. And like, they're like, how? It's like, well, now I'm too old to have gotten in the game early, but I'm not old enough to be inspiring to someone else yet. I'm right in the middle. I can't win. Although I do have to say, twitching for a couple months now, like if I ever run for like a public office, I'm just going to do it through Twitch. Like I don't need the millions of dollars in ads and stuff like that. Like more people probably listen to Twitch than their local representative anyway, like any day of the week, hands down. All I have to do is just go on Twitch and be like, alright guys, if you want to hear my opinion on tax reform, all you gotta do is smash the bell. We're going to put up a poll and giveaway later, and you can tell me what you think about water treatment. Just throw those biddies my way. Of course, I think that's something called bribery. I'll have to look that up. So, on my Twitch, I have actually what's called the gentleman's rule, which is don't talk about politics, do not talk about religion. On the stage today, I'm going to break both of those because I'm on stage and I can do that. However, I always like to include everyone, in this case no one, so I'm going to talk about a political figure that I'm pretty sure no one's going to get upset about. So, back in 2016, someone named Jill Stein ran for president. Do we have any huge Jill Stein fans in the audience? The correct answer is no. So, I bring up Jill Stein because it's a funny story. Well, all the, electoral results came in. We had our first place and our second place, and then the independent guy got in third. Fourth place was none of the above or other, which leaves our Jill Stein running in a very close fifth. So in a four-man race, Jill Stein came in fifth. I can only imagine how that call the next day went. Where her advisor, calls her up, it's like, hey Jill, we got the results. Like, did I win? No. Well then at least beat the other independent? No. Oh, I came in fourth? Ooh. No, you can't. Should we tell her? Yeah, you came fifth, sorry. Like, that's why she wanted the recount. She just wanted to beat the spread. But in any case, so the other thing I told you about was religion. I had a very interesting experience in that regard. I was in college and I went to Washington to visit some friends, the state, not the DC. And as we're going, like I had spent a few days there already, and during one time we were going to meet some of his friends. And halfway through the car ride, when I can't escape, he turns around and looks at me and is like, hey, you're a Christian, right? And I'm like, because that's never usually a good question to be asked. It's not like, hey, are you Christian? Because if you are, you're going to get high fives and cake all night. No, it's usually the other way around. And this was back in my college days, and I wasn't like, because I was raised Catholic, but I was kind of veering away. That I was in college, I was learning new experience, I had I kissed a dude, I thought I was a dragon, your typical college experiences. So, I was kind of on the fence, but I decided, at that time, I was like, yeah. So it's like, hey, yeah. And he's like, oh, Yeah, don't tell anyone. It's like, oh, this got worse. It's like, I wasn't going to anyway, but thanks for the advice. Because, like I said, I was kind of blown away a little bit because, like, having been on the inside and then out, like, the pitch for Catholicism is just intense. It's so intense. It would be like if you went to a gym and it's like, hey, yeah, we'll go ahead, we're going to build up your muscle, we're going to get you, 6-pack, 8-pack abs. By the way, you have to do this every week or else you're going to get flabby as shit and you're going to die alone. It's like, oh yeah, and our fee's like 10%. So 10% of your income every Sunday. You can just slip out the door. The tithing for the Catholic Church is 10%. And back when I was a high schooler, that was easy. I was a pizza delivery guy. I made like $100. 10% of $100, $10. Bloop, there we go. Nowadays, like, oh shit, is that like pre-tax or post-tax? Like, I bought a car, does that count? Like, or do I have to do that next year's tithe? Like, damn, man, I'm gonna have to go to the synagogue next door just to figure this out. Oh. Hey, there's a reason they're the chosen people. God hates taxes too. So anyway, we're getting to the place, or the house we're going to, meeting up with the friends. Well, the reason that he told me don't tell anyone is because it was a gathering of Odin worshippers. And if you don't know who Odin is, that would be the main character from Thor, Ragnarok, and all the other ones. Anthony Hopkins, I believe that was. But yeah, so, and like the reason that I found out like right away that this was good advice, because we walk in, and maybe like half a minute later, the guy goes on just this insane rant about how like Christianity like destroyed their religion, and then immediately follows it up with, oh, by the way, I got my 9mm back from the shop. Plunk! Like there's some situations where your brain goes, no, this isn't real. This is not real life right now. Like that was my brain right now. Like I looked at it, I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to stub my toe and go, oh, Jesus! Oh, no, I didn't mean it. But actually, it turned out to be a pretty good night, except at the end. Got almost a little kerfuffle there. I've been drinking mead out of a cow's horn, which was awesome. Yes! Right? Oh, so good. Like, mead, good, and then drinking out of the cow's horn is like, yeah, like Viking shit. But like, we were winding down for the night, and like, we were just talking, chilling, hanging out, and he goes like, hey, what you think? And I'm like, hey man, this was great. You guys have like a great religion here. And he goes, oh, what religion are you? And luckily I wasn't drunk enough that my brain didn't go, hold on, you were warned about this. The alarm bells are going off a little bit. I'm like, you need to think of another answer than the one you were about to say. But my brain is smart. It was like, all right, you already know what the wrong answer is. Don't say those. You have a variety of other choices. Pick one of those. You'll never see these people again, and you're good. So my dumb drunk ass like goes through the whole encyclopedia of gods, blah, and ends on Bahamut. And if you don't know who Bahamut is, Best Dragon, Bahamut is the platinum scale dragon that for good people in D&D. So now I have to kind of explain what my religion is. Luckily, again, dragon in college, so it helped. So I had to explain to them, and finally, they actually are like into it. Like, I could have probably had like 2 or 3 people like, yo, hail Bahamut, man, yeah, let's do this. Because everyone loves Bahamut. So, if you're in the market for a religion, and you want to bask in the platinum light of the platinum dragon, all you have to do is let me know. The fee is 10%. All right, that is my set. Thank you very much, everyone.
Next up, we have one of the funniest bunnies in the fandom, which narrows it down to basically 2, I guess. So here's the fastest one. Up next, Jake!
I gotta distinguish which one's which. I like that. That's great.
Yeah, you're both funny, so the fast one and the
Fat one? What are you doing here? Fat treatment? Really?
the fast one and there's the mic.
Yeah.
Bail.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Come on. How's it going, guys?
It's a big Haley.
There you go. Half the staff of the convention is outranking you. One more time. One more. How are we doing for reality? There we go. Excellent. Well, I've been fortunate to be invited to this convention to help staff and to come up here and tell some cool stories. But had something come up to with me very recently. I had to go to the hospital. I'm going to give you some background, some context to this story. I was a commercial airline pilot for a while, and one thing about being a commercial airline pilot is you have to have really good eyesight. And that requires me to do physicals, right? And all my life I've had amazing eyesight. I'm seeing I had above 20/20 vision. It was great. So I was the most opposite of Citrine as possible. Right?
Damn it!
But I'm going to be joining the Citrine Fit Club because I found out last week that I have a degenerative disease that is attacking my left eye and I'm going blind. So we're going to become bosom buddies.
You're gonna be like half.
Teach me how to use the stick. So at first I went to go take a physical, and they have you put your little thing in the little visor, the picture scope of doom, right? And immediately she starts the test. She's like, you might as well just lean back right now. Just what numbers do you see? I'm like, there's numbers in here? That's what those are? So I lean back. She's like, you need to see an optometrist right now. And I was like, what's an optometrist? I Google, what's an Oh, okay, cool. Do I get to wear glasses? I am jealous of people that wear glasses. You guys look sexy as hell. Yeah, right? Here's some applause. Because glasses are sexy no matter what. So I'm kind of like, oh man, I'm getting old. I'm getting glasses. And the other part's be like, dude, I'm gonna look so good. So I go to the optometrist, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. I hate going to the doctor's office of any kind. I have avoided it for so long, and I have never been to anything. So for those who have been through this, what the hell? What the hell? It's like putting a robot's ass on your face. What is with that? You sit down, and it's just like, she sits down, or in my case, is a woman, and she sits down, and she's like prepping this thing. She's like greasing it. Now, you know what I'm talking about? The thing has all the lenses. I swear to God, I'm like, how many lenses do you need? I'm right here. The wall's right there. The chart's right there. I can see the chart. We're good. I don't need to see Mars. This is the Hubble telescope we're putting in my face. Right? She swings that thing in. Right? And I'm like, what am I supposed to see the future? What am I? And I'm like, this is really bad. I already can't see squash because I haven't even turned it on. I'm like, oh. Good. So she immediately turns that thing on. Immediately swifts the thing right away, and she goes, you need to see a specialist. I'm like, oh, that's no good. I was like, oh, okay, well, when do I schedule one? She goes, oh, we're not scheduling one. We're going to take you right now. We are going to drive you to somebody right now. So this got even worse. So for those who have done eye tests, they know all about this next thing I'm going to describe. There is a machine that I fear more than anything.
Glaucoma test.
I have not done it's actually a pressure test. It's a machine that blows air on your eye. Have anybody done that before? Okay. I would rather be waterboarded while having a ferret try to find a coin in my lower intestine than go through that anxiety nightmare ever again. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this is a machine the size of a goddamn refrigerator that sits to your face, like right here, right? And like, look at the light. Look at the light. I'm like, I can't. What light?
There's a light.
I'm like, oh right, I'm gonna turn it on. They turn the light on. That's all I see. Look at the light. No crap, Sherlock. I can't see anything else. You're gonna feel gentle pressure. Gentle pressure. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. It's totally not gonna hurt. Camera. It's not gonna hurt. Totally not gonna hurt. You know it's gonna hurt. When somebody tells you 7 times it's not gonna hurt, it's really gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt so bad. It's gonna hurt so bad. You know what? I'm loud enough, right? so I'm like, what? You guys said it's a gentle puff of air. What's going on here? It looks like we get a money shot from Optimus Prime here. and this machine's doing this like, again, for those who haven't done this, it's right against your face. It is making every noise from like the worst car, like a car that's about to break. And it's right here. And she's like, don't worry, it'll work. It'll happen. I'm like, when? When's it gonna happen? I already have one kid. Like what's? Who knows what's gonna happen between here and into infinity? I was like, just waterboard me. Just take them out. Just take the eyes out. Make me Jordy LaForge. I don't care. I don't want to go through this again. And sure enough, it happens. It's over with. Oh, thank God. And I have to admit, it didn't hurt. It scares the living crap out of you, right? I have a new line of shorts coming out just because of that. Jake, let me crack. Available at Kmart. They're still around, right?
There's one in Florence.
Oh, one in Florence? Right by Toys R Us, right? They deserve it.
Jeffrey's box.
My credit card is thankful now that they closed.
They canceled their bankruptcy claim.
Shut up! My wallet will hear you! I'm sorry.
It didn't mean it, baby. It's okay.
Alright. So this thing, so I'm like, oh, thank God, it's over with. It's good. She goes, all right, ready for the next eye? I'm like, what? I have one aisle. This is the bad one. No, we do it for both. Fudge that. So for any of you that went through that, I'd rather be waterboarded. That's crazy. I don't wish that on anyone. So that was a whole new experience for me. So another thing they did is they took a picture of my lens. Has anyone been through that? Where they put that weird shit, like, you see the old school like pictures where they show ships and they have those big funnels that get air and stuff, they look like weird tubas and stuff. Yeah, that thing again, you put your face up to it, it's whirling at 30 miles an hour. Like, what is with these people like torturing you with stuff that's going really fast by your face? I have been to war, people. I spent 6 years in Iraq. And I will gladly sign up right now to go back if I don't have to go to that goddamn doctor's office. But they take this picture of your lens. And normally the lens is supposed to be like a dome shape. Yeah, mine is not. It looks like the Sierra Mountains. So like, well, we have a temporary fix. We're going to transplant your eyes. But before that we do that, I'm slated to my transplant. They have to do contacts. Like, well, we're going to do a contact. Guys, I've seen contact commercials, all right? That's all I've been through. Let alone, ever actually held one in my hand. I mean, so I'm looking at this thing, they're like, oh, okay, I can deal with that, it's small. No, they come out with like basically a salad bowl that goes over my entire eye. Has anybody ever seen one of those?
Yes.
They put it in with a plunger. A plunger. It's a big sucker thing. They shove that thing in my eye. Can you see? No, I got a salad bowl in my face. They remove it with another plunger. They remove it. It is like a cartoon. Pulls your eye out and you actually hear the noise. It's insane. Shut up. So that was a whole new experience that I've never been through before, and I know some of you have been through that. That's insane. But I want to say that I appreciate you guys coming up here and enjoying and having fun. This is a great con run by great people. I want to give my hands to everybody who's staff, tell staff. There's an amazing connection. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to segue off for my great friend Poker. Poker, thank you again for giving me a chance to do this and make
Thank you for coming up here again, Jake.
Right.
Jake Bunny, everybody!
Come on, show us your poker face.
Fix it. Such a car. Woo! It works! Alright, we have one final act for you tonight. The one, the only, Chris Bunny.
Okay, I can try to win your guys' love. That was a lukewarm response, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Why, one fan. Oh, thank you. Okay.
The other Jake better.
The other Jake? Okay.
Fair.
Alright, so I always encourage people to talk to someone they've never talked to at a convention, because the reality of the situation is you always have at least one thing in common, And the fact of the matter is that experience could be an adventure. It could be boring, but it could be an adventure. And I took my own advice like I try to always do, and I spoke to someone recently. It was morning, everyone was tired, and it was continental breakfast. We sit down, or I'm looking to sit down somewhere, I grab my milk, I grab my food, and I see someone sitting and eating alone. Donut, coffee, reading their phone. Sit down next to him, and I was like, hey man, how's it going? Good morning. And he's like, it's a good morning. And I'm like, all right. Seem kind of tired. Party hard last night? He's like, yeah, I partied pretty hard last night. I'm like, that's awesome, man. Glad to hear it. And there's a bit of a lull in the conversation, like there often is when you're first starting to meet someone, and he just kind of mumbles to himself, oh, I love a good dog, not in the morning. And I go, that can't be what he said. So I investigate. Did you mean donut? And he's like, he looks at me with a fiery passion in his eyes, and he says, I know what I'm about. And I'm like, all right. So in responding with that same energy and keeping with the spirit of the conversation, I look at him and I say, you know how I get my dick to be 10 inches? What? That was his response. And I look at him with the same fiery passion he gave me, and I simply say, I fold it in half, and I slam my milk down and I walk away. So I'm just saying, man, sometimes it can be an adventure. But, I mean, for me, I have that problem where stuff always happens around me, and it can get really tiresome. I was about 13-ish, and my mom yells down, she goes, hey, go get some chips. And I'm like, I don't want to get chips. And she's like, do it. And I'm like, but I don't want to. She's like, just get on your bike, ride it to the store, and go get the chips. And I was like, ugh. But if I do that, I'm going to wind up in some weird drug cartel, and it's going to be terrible because I'm going to have to prove myself because I'm the new guy, and then I'm going to get detained, and you're going to have to post bail. And she's like, you're just being lazy. Get on your bike and go get some fucking chips. And I'm like, fine, but if I'm right, I'm not paying for bail. So I started riding my bike to the store. It's a fun little ride. It's okay. It's not bad. I have to cross a little bridge over a river to go to to the store. It's really gentle and fun. I'm riding across the bridge, so beautiful. And I get to the other side of the bridge, here. Now there's a man on the other side that I passed by. He's fishing, just not thinking much of it. And I say, hey, hello? And he's like, yeah, man. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you got any weed? And I'm like, well, I'm 13-ish. No. And he's like, you want to buy some? And I'm 13-ish, so I'm like, no? And he's like, you want to sell some? And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I have to think about it, because this is an amazing job opportunity, and I know my mom's going to have to post bail, so it's all profit for me. But I got shit to do that week, so I'm like, sorry, homie, ain't worth it. I ain't dealing with the Diablo. You got this, though. And I ride off to get chips. But maybe I do it to myself, though. I'm not sure. Because recently, I found myself at a drive-thru. And I pull up to the drive-thru, and I'm like, yeah, can I get, it's like McDonald's or some crap. And I'm like, yeah, can I get a blah, and a blah, and a blah, and a blah? And she's like, yeah, I can get that for you. Also, would you like to donate $1 to change a youth's life? And I go, yeah, wait, positive or negative? And she's like, excuse me? And I'm like, the change, positive or negative? And she's like, well, I'd assume positive, probably. And I was like, oh, no, never mind, I fucking hate kids. It's just, I mean, it's fine, I don't mind kids, whatever, but what a silly thing to do. It's weird. Why would you accost someone at their most selfish and consumeristic? I'm at McDonald's or some crap. I am doing no one any good by being there, including myself. I'm just saying, pick your battles, disenfranchised youths. It's weird. Did you guys have heroes growing up? Like, or currently, I suppose? I assume everyone has some kind of hero.
Yes.
My hero, growing up, was Shaggy. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, the weird hippie that lives in a van and eats dog food. I really just wanted to be him. I wanted to be so cool like him, man. It was gonna be so cool. I was like, yeah, dude, I can hang out with Scooby. It'll be great.
It'll be great, man.
And I'm like, and then I was really starting to think about it recently. And it's like, you know what? I'm 20-something. I smoke a bunch of weed. I slept in a car at some point this weekend. And I hang out with a bunch of talking animals, so. I'm just saying, dreams do come true, but I probably should have aimed a little higher. Thank you very much, that was my time.
Let's give up to Chris! Guys, this has been Amateur Hour. I'm Poker Wolf. We had up here Citrine, Chris, Jake, Seraphin, Propzilla. I am Poker Wolf. Thank you. Good night! But don't go anywhere because you've seen the amateurs. Now it's time for the professional drums.
Isn't it
Get your walls ready because it's time for I've Come Me Better When I've Had a Few with Boozy Badger, Uncle Crummy, and Alpha Live Business.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.